You're never going to go beyond this. Umar ibn Khattab said, Ya Rasulullah, allow me to execute him. This is a Dajjal. He says he is Rasulullah. He's communication with the jinn. His penalty is execution. Ya Rasulullah, allow me to execute him. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if he is that Dajjal, you shall not be able to kill him. And if he is other than that Dajjal, your killing won't benefit anyone. He's nothing. It's going to go away. Right? Leave him be. Now, this hadith is in Sahih Muslim, it's authentic. Now, if he is that Dajjal, you shall not be able to kill him. Why? Because who shall kill that Dajjal? Isa alayhi salam. No one will be able to kill that one. So the Prophet is telling Umar, if he is that Dajjal, you won't be able to kill him. And if he is other than that Dajjal, yeah, what's the big deal? He's going to come and go, no one will care. Your killing will not harm any or benefit anyone. He's going to be a minor, which was the case. He became a footnote in history. Majority of Muslims don't even know about his name, even though during the time of the Sahaba, he was somewhat of a big deal. Somewhat, in the sense, we don't know his state, as we're going to come to. So this is one hadith about Ibn Dajjal. Another hadith, Ibn Sayyad, Another hadith is that once the Prophet ﷺ went to go test Ibn Sayyad, and he walked towards his house with some of the Sahaba, and he hid behind some date palms trying to see Ibn Sayyad in a way that Ibn Sayyad would not see him. But Ibn Sayyad's mother saw the Prophet ﷺ in the distance, so she shouted out, Ya Safi, O Safi, watch, be careful. His mother was on the side of, obviously, the mothers typically side with their sons, even in batil. Unfortunately, this is human nature. So the mother is saying to Ibn Sayyad, Ya Safi, that's his name, or Ya Saf. She cut out the Ya out of love, it's called in Arabic, Bab al-Tarkhim. So he said, Ya Saf, look, there is Muhammad, Rasulullah. So he turned around and he saw the Prophet ﷺ, and there was again some conversation that did not result in anything fruitful per se. And that Ibn Sayyad, he continued to live in Medina after the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and he resided in Medina, and a number of Sahaba swore by Allah that that is the Dajjal, and they considered Ibn Sayyad to be that Dajjal. And of them was Umar ibn Khattab. He would make halaf with Allah that that is the Dajjal. Also Jabir ibn Abdullah, the famous Sahabi, he felt that that is the actual Dajjal. And a number of other famous Sahaba. Nafi' said that I heard my master Ibn Umar. Ibn Umar is of course the son of Abdullah of Umar al-Khattab. So Umar and his son Abdullah ibn Umar, obviously same family, they both thought Ibn Sayyad is that Dajjal. Nafi' is the famous slave of Ibn Umar, who was freed by Ibn Umar, and he became a great scholar. And Ibn Umar died, and Nafi' became the Sheikh of Medina, and Malik ibn Anas came, studied with Nafi', and so the golden chain, which you should all know, Malik ibn Anas from Nafi' from Ibn Umar. This is one of the most famous isnads of Islamic history. And Nafi' was nothing other than a servant, a slave, whom Allah honored with knowledge. This is what knowledge does. He was purchased as a young child as a slave, but he was eager for Islam. He memorized the Quran, he memorized Hadith, and therefore every book of Hadith has Malik from Nafi' from Ibn Umar. So Nafi' said, I heard my master Ibn Umar say, Wallahi, I have no doubt that Masih al-Dajjal is Ibn Sayyad. He's making halaf because he heard it from his father. So Umar and his son Ibn Umar, they felt that Ibn Sayyad is none other than that ad-Dajjal. And there's a famous narration as well that is mentioned in Sahih Muslim, that once Ibn Umar met Ibn Sayyad in the streets of Medina, and he had a fight with him, verbal fight, and he made Ibn Sayyad very angry, and Ibn Sayyad walked away stomping, very angry. So Ibn Umar then visited the house of his sister Hafsa, our mother Hafsa, and Hafsa heard the news that Ibn Umar and Ibn Sayyad had a confrontation in the bazaar, in the public sphere of Medina. This is after the death of the Prophet ﷺ. The news spread that Ibn Sayyad and Ibn Umar, they had it out. They were shouting and screaming. Ibn Sayyad left stomping and angry. Hafsa said to her brother that, what is the matter with you? and Ibn Sayyad? Why do you have to interfere with him? Why are you getting involved in this issue? Don't you know that the Prophet ﷺ said, so this is a hadith now, that the Dajjal shall come and appear after something has caused him to become angry? Meaning, why are you poking him? Why are you prodding him? Why are you getting him angry? What is your business with the man? Let him be. We don't want the Dajjal to come when he's alive. Which means even Hafsa might have been sympathetic that Ibn Sayyad is who? Is that Dajjal. And that's one family. Hafsa, Ibn Umar, they're one family, and they thought that Ibn Sayyad is the actual Dajjal. Now, this issue of Ibn Sayyad being the Dajjal was denied by other Sahaba. And the most famous narration we have in this regard, which is one that is somewhat funny and somewhat sad at the same time, and this is also in Sahih Muslim. Imam Muslim, by the way, he made a section in his Sahih about the ahadith of Ibn Sayyad. So if any of you want to study Ibn Sayyad, you can go to Sahih Muslim. It is translated in English. I'm sure there are many Urdu translations, and you will find an entire section about the ahadith of Ibn Sayyad. And now with this commentary of mine, you can now approach this section, because without commentary it's very confusing. And you can read all of these half a dozen narrations about Ibn Sayyad in Sahih Muslim. So a very sad and funny and humorous and interesting narration in Sahih Muslim as well is narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala an. He says that one time I was doing Hajj or Umrah, the narrator forgot what he said, with Ibn Sayyad. And the time came for the caravan to stop. So you know, the caravans go for 5-10 hours, they stop for the night, next morning they'll go. So the time came to stop. And when the caravans basically stopped, everybody ran away from Ibn Sayyad, and I was the one left next to him. Right? So nobody wanted to put his tent next to the tent of Ibn Sayyad. Okay? Everybody goes away, and I found myself next to Ibn Sayyad. فَاسْتَوْحَشْتُ مِنْهُ وَحْشَةً شَدِيدًا. And I became very terrified of him because of the rumors going around about him. This is after the death of the Prophet ﷺ. Still the rumors are there. Abu Sa'id wants nothing to do with the guy. And looking around, he saw I was the only camel there, so he brought his belongings and he sat down next to me. I said to him, "It is so hot over here, maybe it's better for you if you rest in that shade over there. Just get away from me." Okay? So he got the hint, he stood up and he went over there. And eventually some meat came to me. So Ibn Sayyad stood up to share with that meat. So now food has come. And generally speaking, when you're in one caravan, you're going to all share the meal. Okay? Nobody wanted to deliver the meal to him, so they delivered it to Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, and Ibn Sayyad wants to now share that meal. So he came and he sat down with me, and he had a glass of milk with him. So he gave me some milk and he said, "Go ahead, take some." So I said, "This milk is warm and I don't like warm milk. And the only reason I didn't want to drink it," this is him saying, "is because I did not want to touch anything he touched." Okay? Who refuses milk in those days? Everybody loves milk. But Ibn Sayyad, he goes, "I don't want it." So Ibn Sayyad said, "Ya Aba Sa'id, how I wish that I could take a rope and tie it on that tree and commit suicide because of what the people say about me." In other words, he knows exactly why Abu Sa'id is not sitting next to him, is not sharing the milk with him, and it's hurting Ibn Sayyad. How I wish that I can take a rope, tie it on that tree, and then commit suicide because of that, because of what the people say about me. Ya Aba Sa'id, don't you know from being from the Ansar what the Prophet ﷺ said? Ya Aba Sa'id, aren't you one of the most knowledgeable people about the ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ? Ya Aba Sa'id, look, he is now quizzing him. Don't you know that the Dajjal is a kafir and I am a Muslim? Ya Aba Sa'id, don't you know that the Dajjal shall have no children and I have left my children in Medina? By the way, these are all signs. Dajjal, we all know he's a kafir. Dajjal shall have no children And Ibn Sayyad said, I left my family in Medina, how can I be Dajjal?